Welcome to a new season and a new era of the Recline and Unwind podcast. Uh, it's been a while. The last episode we left off at was with Emmanuel LKD. Great episode. We got real in that one. But it's time for a new season, and I'm very excited because I put this aside to focus on other things, and we focused on those, and we got them done, and now we can come right back to this. So let's let's talk about where we last left off. I want to say it was sometime in March, maybe. I want to say I think we were releasing our winter logo. I think it still wasn't spring. Um, and I was working on an album. I was working on clothing, uh, work, lots of things going on. Got all that done, and now we're back here, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to bring this back because it's a change from what we were doing. What we're so used to doing is having like an interview conversation, and that's no longer going to be the thing, at least not all the time, because I feel like it gets difficult to try to get things out of people that they might not want to talk about, or um it doesn't really match the vibe of the podcast. I want this to feel like, hey, let me wake up in the morning, grab my coffee, and let me just hear one, two, three, four, five people talk. And I feel like you're not gonna get that same energy if it becomes an interview kind of podcast. We'll still have a couple of those. Fingers crossed we can get a couple of semi big names. Not gonna lie to you, I have a couple in mind that I've reached out to, and they are interested. I don't know if it's gonna happen yet, but it's definitely something that we want to work on. Um, but this era is going to be different. We might still have similar guests, the same guests, some new, some old might be on. But it's no longer going to be a interview kind of thing. It's going to be two guys, or myself and a girl, or myself and family, just hanging out, having a conversation, and just having a good time, having some laughs, and that's really where we're headed. Um, but let's not make this that short of an episode. I do want to bring up something that is really, really cool. It's something that as you can tell, we're using new mics now. It's small. If I put it here, it is too loud. So I do gotta hold it off a little bit. Hopefully, it comes off right and it works out for everybody, whoever's listening. Anyway, something that I've learned within these past couple of months, maybe not learned, more of that I just began to like feel in a way is when it comes to music. Within the past couple of weeks, I did go to a couple of concerts and I had a great time. And before the podcast stopped, I was also going to concerts, having a good time, and I just started paying for VIP tickets and packages. I actually have a concert. By the time this one comes out, I would have already gone to it, or I'm going to it later today. This is either gonna drop Friday or Saturday. Probably Saturdays. Probably the ideal goal to have them all go up on Saturdays. But I've been paying for VIP packages, and once I interact with the artist, it's just so cool to actually interact with it. Aside from the fact, like yes, they're musicians most of the time, and when they're musicians, they're usually on work mode, like just working. I have to get backstage. I have to do this. I have to do that. But the few times that I've actually been able to get lucky with VIP packages lately, um, it's two different levels of success. One of them was an upcoming rock group who had a small venue, and the other one was a Korean group which had a slightly bigger venue. Um, different VIP experiences, but at the end of the day, it's still the same like vibe. Because with the rock group, like their VIP package was different. It wasn't a quick meet and greet here and there. Like no, um, it was like them coming out, the band coming out, talking to everyone, hanging out. They laid out snacks for people, water, food, just because we got there early. Um, and part of their VIP experience was, hey, play a game of mini golf with us. And all three band members weren't like they had three holes, and each one was set up differently. Each one was at each hole, and they talked to you when you were playing golf, and then they took a picture. They took their time. They didn't rush it. It was so cool to feel that connection with the group, with the band. Um and it's just like it's like yeah, like they're all humans. Like everyone's a human being, and despite the levels of success, like they're still like down to earth. I know not everyone is like this, but this specific group was so cool to talk to. They were so nice, and it just made the VIP experience more welcoming and more meaningful. You know, I got there early, got the VIP. I was front row for the show. It was really fun. And then for the Korean girl group, their VIP, it's two different cultures, two different genres, and two different management teams. You know, with this rock group, I believe it was mainly them handling a lot of the things, if not the record label. With the Korean group, it was more of like a luxury to see them. You know, uh, because everything is just so exaggerated in that music culture in that genre. So they perform. We get there early. They do sound check, and a lot of people do sound check. But at this sound check, it felt very intimate. It probably was because it was probably like 30 to 60 people at the very most. Um, no, maybe more, maybe like 70 at the very most. Probably pushing it. 45 ish. And we were doing sound check, and every like the members were all so cool to talk to. Like you didn't get one-on-one time with them like that, but you definitely like they interacted with the audience. It felt so cool. It felt more intimate, and it felt like you were creating a bond, and that's something a lot of big groups don't do. Then when it came to so that was sound check. Show happened. Even during the show, mind you, not the biggest group either, but during the show, they were interacting with the fans, front row, up in the bleachers. Like it wasn't that high up either, but they were communicating. And come at towards the end of the or at the end of the night, you're waiting for the full VIP experience, take a group picture with them, and then you get your one-on-one with one of the members. Like at the when taking the group pictures, like it's just so cool because they're like it's you see them as larger than life entities, sorry. And once you see them up close and you interact with them, it's like they're human. Like obviously they're human beings, but they're so cool. They're so calm. Obviously, probably tired. So you do probably the VIP experience was different, but they're so cool and calm and collected, and like it looks like they're genuinely happy to see you, and be there to support them. Let alone the one-on-one. You get a little more time to talk with the member, but you sit down, you take your picture. Person I talked to was very calm. She asked what pose we were doing. We did the pose, and it's a very chill experience. Um, they give you like seconds to talk to them, but they were very cool. And like it's just like you don't get this connection with any artist, you know, at least if you don't pay. Obviously the VIP experience, you're paying for it for the whole experience to talk to them. But I've met artists who are a little like on the cockier side, and you know the VIP is like, oh, like that was it, like it's kind of whack. But with these two specific experiences, it's different. And then I have one more when it comes out. I would have probably done it. It's a VIP experience as well. And I'm really excited because I've known this artist for a while. I've gone to free events where they literally interact one on one with you. It's a very chill time. Um, but this one feels like more of a supporting a friend rather than supporting an artist because although we're not friends, I've known him for so long and I've met him so many times. I just like I'm here to support you, man. Like I've I enjoy your music and I've enjoyed it for a long time. And I'm curious to see how that VIP experience is gonna be. But uh yeah, like it's just crazy how every artist and every culture is different. Had a great time in both shows. I've had VIP experiences in the past with other artists and they've mostly gone pretty well. They're not rushed. Um so it's pretty cool. It really is pretty cool to be able to interact with artists. And yeah, I mean that's really I just wanted to bring that up part of this episode. Very excited. Next week should be a fun week. we have the iPad ready to go, and in this iPad is when we're gonna have the new direction of the podcast. I don't want to reveal too much, but all I'm gonna say is that it's gonna be funnier. It's gonna be more laid back, less stiff, less stressed, and we're just here for a good time. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in to this new episode, new season of the Recline and Unwind podcast. As you can tell, we have a I don't even know what it's called, but we have something with the name of the podcast. We're gonna fix this background up. This is where most of the in-person episodes are gonna happen. We're still doing Discord episodes for those we can't do in person or those that work best remote. But let's hope it all goes well. Um, Hopefully this becomes more consistent. Uh, New album coming out. By the time this album comes out, I mean this podcast comes out, I think I would have announced it. New album comes out November 8th. Um, the name would have probably been out. It's called 3 a.m. in New York, and it is my last album for the foreseeable future, so I can focus on different things like this podcast, like Roots, which might undergo a big change in 2025. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I hope this next season is a fun one. Peace.